Welcome back, guys. So today we're taking a look at the Supaboy SFC from Hyperkin. This is their newest version of the Supaboy, their portable Super Nintendo. So this little fella does have a 4.3-inch LCD screen. Pretty awesome stuff. TV output, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, an NTSC PAL switch, and it's compatible with SNES and SFC, it says. So both Japanese and US games. And you can use those controllers. I love how this box is. It does go over all the features, and it's just really nice. Tells you everything on the side, what comes with it, a pouch, a wrist strap, charging cable, and AV cables. I'm really digging the way they package this. On the back of the box does explain their pin-perfect technology, which they first used in their Super Retron HD. And it also does have a headphone jack, a little diagram on the back of the system, all the buttons that you would need and you would expect. I love the way this is packaged, how it opens up like as if it was like a high-end tablet or something. Hyperkin really goes all out with their packaging, I think. They really nail it with the aesthetic and the look they go for. You know it's a Hyperkin product. So here's the SFC, pretty awesome. Does have a little screen protector on there. So the screen's not actually scratched up, it's just the screen protector has some scratches. And here's all the buttons and the ports. The bottom, you do have the 4.3 16:9 and brightness switch. Pretty good stuff. Reset button, your power, your NTSC, and the reset and the AV out are on the top, and your cartridge slot. Pretty nice. So far, all the buttons are feeling pretty good to me. Can't really complain. These feel legit. Like typically, Hyperkin knows what's up with their buttons and their D-pads, especially with, you know, their Cadet and their Scout controllers have been top notch in my opinion. So definitely the controls on this system feel really good, and we'll be testing that out in a moment. And then the little box of extras. I love the color they use, the the Super Famicom or PAL region colors, the SFC colors for their packaging. Really, really neat. So here's the extras, little goodies. You do get a little manual. Goes over everything you would need to know, explains how the brightness and the aspect ratio switch works, and we'll be touching on that in a moment. Pretty cool stuff. I typically don't read the manual. I'll figure this out, but it's there if you want to take a look. Also, you do get your AV out if you want to play this on your TV. And then your power cable. Looks like the same kind of power cable that comes with their Retron HD systems. Pretty solid. Nice little wrist strap, just in case you want to strap this to your wrist, in case you're clumsy and you might accidentally drop it. This thing's kind of big, but it's not a heavy system, but it's also not light. It's kind of hard to explain. It just feels right. Now here's the pouch. It does not say SFC on it. It just says the Supaboy S, so it looks like they're repurposing pouches from the previous version, which, no big deal. It's just a pouch, but that's nice that it came with one, and you can keep your system in there protected. So today we're going to be testing out these carts, the Retrobit Joe and Matt collection, a Retro Circuits 8-in-1 multi-cart, Zombies Ate My Neighbors official US release cart, Hagane official Japanese release cart, and then also we will be testing out the SD to SNES, flash cart. So there she is. So let's go ahead and get this party started and test out these carts and see if they all work on this system. That's the most important thing. So here we go, up close, trying my best not to get too much glare on the screen. Very difficult to film, a handheld like this, but bear with me, trying my best here, and I think the results are pretty good for you guys to get a good idea of how the games look on this. So here is Hagane starting up. We do have the NTSC switch on, so it did say NTSC when you first boot up, but that disappears right away. No issue with the game starting up and playing. Let's go ahead and test out some buttons here, see how she feels. It's a very awesome game. I always say it, very awesome game. If you can get your hands on the Japanese release, if you're into official cartridges, highly recommended. Get it while the price is still low, because man, the US release is expensive, and they're the same game, and there's not really any text in the game, so you don't need to know Japanese to play this. I think only the stage names are in Japanese. There's nothing else really going on. definitely dope game. And the buttons are very responsive. The D-pad, I actually really like the D-pad. It's kind of got that perfect balance, not like overly stiff or anything, and it's not overly mushy, if you know what I mean. So it's not loose, it's not stiff, it's kind of right in the middle, like as if it was you know, kind of worked in a little bit. So definitely dig that. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the next game. So we see Japanese games have no issue working. Not surprised. So let's go ahead and try out Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This is an official US release cart. This is not a repro or anything. But we will be trying that Retro Circuits cart in a moment, which is a multi-cart repro. And then in the future, if you guys are interested, I can try out some other cartridges to see how they perform. I was thinking, you know, maybe the Super Game Boy or something in the near future. So as you see here, the game boots up just fine. Looks good, sounds good. The volume, I did have to lower the volume on the recording of this video. Not on the actual unit, but just on the recording, because it was pretty loud. It would be overtaking my voice. And then here, just testing out, like, hey, you know, being a little rough with it, tapping the cartridge, shaking this thing around, seeing if the game glitches out or turns off. And no, this pin perfect technology and the way this cartridge is snug in there, it's very secure, and doesn't really seem like, you know, with good use, you're not really you're not gonna knock the cartridge and stop it from working. You know, here I'm dropping it from like an inch. You know, that's not going to be indicative of dropping it like 6 feet or something, but hey, you know, sometimes those little jolts and bolts kind of screw up your game, and here it's not, so that's definitely a plus. I don't recommend being rough with a unit like this, because you will glitch your game or lose your saves if you hit those, you know, that cartridge just right. But I just wanted to kind of test that and see if, you know, minor shaking around and a little tiny drop, if anything bad would happen. And no, seems pretty good so far. So here is the multi-cart from Retro Circuits. I love these guys. They do awesome work. Their cartridges are safe, proper voltage, all that good stuff. And here we go. Boots up just fine. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into a game here. Donkey Kong Country is a good one to test. This multi-cart does have all 3 Donkey Kong countries, and then Mario All-Stars and Mario World. So essentially it's 8 games in one. Pretty cool. Definitely dig this cartridge from them. And if people are interested, I will try out plugging this into a TV and using it, you know, as a actual console. Right now, I just wanted to really peep out the main features of this, which is playing it in handheld mode. I mean, I have my other solutions to play Super Nintendo on my TV, so this is something I was interested in. Hey, to play handheld Super Nintendo occasionally, I think that's pretty sweet. I did have their first iteration a long time ago when it first came out, but wound up not getting as much use out of it as I liked. I think that was kind of a time where I stopped collecting and started getting rid of some of my cartridges. And now that I'm, you know, getting back a bunch of stuff and no desire to get rid of anything, like, I'm gonna be holding on to all my games, giving them to my kids and whatnot, you know, when the time comes. This is definitely something cool for me to have to play around with. Might even let my, you know, my youngest son play with it occasionally, because he really digs portable gaming. He plays the Game Boy Color all the time and whatnot, and he saw this when I first got it in the mail and was like, oh, I want to play that. It's like, not yet, dude, not yet. But here we go. Let's go ahead, pop that out. That works, you know. I mean, it seems like, you know, we played one game, everything else is going to work on it. With those, though, you have to power off and power back on in order to select your game, because if you just reset, it'll just reset back into the normal game. And here, Joe and Mac, the Ultimate Caveman Collection from Retrobit, having a little bit of a tough time getting this in here. And it looks like it's due to the shape of the cartridge. So it seems like it will fit, but it's going to be a very tight fit. A little bit of a struggle. Trying to line it up here to see, you know, how I need to get it in there. I don't want to damage anything. I actually really love this cartridge. So yeah, a bit of struggle later. I finally figured out the best positioning, which was kind of to the back of the system and right smack dab in the middle, and you will get it in there. Now we do get the Data East logo. We do get the published by Retrobit logo, but beyond that, the game glitches out. When I filmed this, before I did my commentary on it, I was like, man, is there something wrong with my cart? And I tested it on several other consoles, and there's nothing wrong with my cartridge. It boots up just fine, and I can play whatever game on it I want. But on this system, no matter what I do, it glitches out. So I'm not 100% what the issue with that is. So it could be the pins, it could be the way it's sitting in there, that it's not making proper connection. I'm not 100%, but hey, you know, we do get the SD to SNES to try. So this is kind of a tight fit because it does have, you know, the full on board that needs to be plugged in. So definitely be careful putting yours in there. I just noticed it was kind of a tight fit, so I really had to make sure I was careful. But once it got in, it booted up just fine, and you can enjoy any of your games you have on your SD to SNES. So that's pretty awesome. Little disappointed that the Retrobit cart did not work. I'm going to do some further testing on that with the other cartridges. I did not have them handy for this unboxing and review. Little disappointing with that, but official carts work, multi-carts work, Japanese carts work, the flash carts work. So I'm pretty happy with that. Very awesome. If you want to grab one of these, check out CastlemaniaGames.com. That's where I got mine. Link will be in the description. A lot of awesome stuff there. Smash that like button if you could. Subscribe. Do all that cool stuff. And with that said, I will catch you guys next time. Boom! Peace out.